Okay, seems to be starting. So we're live, and welcome to the Build a DJ WordPress website webinar and workshop. And basically, we're going to be building a WordPress website with DJ Kierren. Now, he already has a Wix website, which looks pretty good actually. But we're going to copy that design over first to WordPress website, starting with a fresh design, and then we can tweak it after. But first, we're going to just copy it over just so we've got something, a framework. So, and I quite like the website that he started with. So let me share my screen. So if I share the screen, this is Kieran's website. So how are you, by the way, anyway, Kieran?
Yeah, I'm great, mate. Been a bit of a long day today, but we made it, and I'm here, and I'm glad we made it. So, yep, happy to be here.
Yeah,
for having me.
Yeah, cool. So we had a bit of a presentation last week. I was showing the EMP DJ system, and then we were talking about how you got the Wix website. And I do recommend that DJs build a WordPress website because it's easy to do, and once you learn, then you can do all your own improvements and you can make it better and better over time. Because a website that's going to do well on Google needs some love and care. And so if you can learn how to do it yourself, then you can just keep adding to it and building on it, and you don't have to pay a web designer or anything like that, So let's get stuck right into it. So this is the design we got from Kieran. He's from Paradise DJs in the Gold Coast. And if you want to work with a great DJ in the Gold Coast, reach out to him and connect up. So looking at the website here, I really like the design. I know you said it's just a template, but I think the video looks cool. And I like the kind of purple theme. It looks really cool. Is this stuff all part of the theme as well, like this squiggly stuff?
Yeah, it was incorporated into the theme. Yeah. Yeah, it was.
Yep. And is this part? This looks really cool too. Is that just the video?
Yeah. So on the desktop, it's a video, and it's just like a slideshow of a few different pics together, and then so that's on the desktop version. On the mobile,
is that a slideshow in Wix? Because I want to know if we can repeat this effect in the WordPress website.
It was embedded into Wix, so I made it, uploaded some photos, and then embedded it into Wix, and then that's the effect.
Okay, yeah, we might be able to embed it into the new WordPress website. You reckon?
Yeah.
Or is it a tool from Wix?
It was a tool. So with Wix, I uploaded a couple of photos and made it into a slideshow. So, all those
if it's
photos.
Wix tool, I guess.
So basically, I just uploaded all the photos, and then they put all the effects on top of it.
Okay, cool. Well, I really like it. So, we might find a way to keep that as well. I'm not sure if we're able to edit that today, but we might be able to record it as a video and then, re-embed the same kind of thing in the new site. And I like that you put lots of photos of yourself and your equipment, because that builds trust. When people go and book a DJ, people do care about the DJ's appearance, and, people have someone in mind, whether they want a mature DJ or a young DJ or, whatever DJ they want. So when people see photos of you online, it builds a lot of trust, because it shows you got nothing to hide and you look professional. And so that's really going to help you in your conversion rate. So that's really good.
Yeah. And I think if anyone needs like advice with getting photos, I usually make good mates with if you're doing a wedding gig, make good mates with the photographer, and maybe hit them up for a photo, and then put them on Facebook or Instagram, and then ask them if they can just take one photo of you DJing, and then just tag them in Instagram or something, and you photo, or ask a professional photographer to take a photo of you DJing, and then just make some.
That's a good idea. I've done that at events.
As well.
Spoken to. Yeah. Well, let's get actually try and get into it, because I want to try and move a little bit quick here and try and get a lot done. Now, I've got a WordPress website that we've just set up here. Now, if you've got a host, something like I'm using SiteGround, it's very quick and easy to create a new website. I literally just push a button and say, create a new site, and in like 10 minutes, I got a fresh website. So that's what we're looking at here. This is a fresh WordPress install. Okay, great. So we got, is it Daniel, and who else do we have in the room?
Can you hear me?
Yep.
I'm Alex.
Great. Alex, awesome. Nice to meet you, Alex.
Hi.
Okay, so we're going to dive right into it, but I'll give you a very quick rundown of what you missed in the last 5 minutes. But basically, Kierren already has a website on Wix, and it actually does look good. Design-wise, it looks good. And I suggested that he goes to WordPress, because I believe that WordPress gives you a lot more power when it comes to SEO, building your blog, and adding plugins that can do additional things. So we're going to go actually just copy this design. So I'm going to start a fresh WordPress, and we're going to install some plugins and start trying to copy this design. So let's get stuck right into it. Now, I've got a fresh WordPress. I'm using this host called SiteGround. And basically, once we log in, you get to the back end of the WordPress website from up the top here. We're going to go to the dashboard. And this seems to be like a wizard that's part of my host. I'm going to skip that. And this is what our dashboard looks like when we log into a WordPress website. So when you get a hosting, normally a good host will just be able to, you'll be able to click one button and create a fresh WordPress website. You won't have to learn how to install WordPress to a host or anything like that, right? So once we log in, one of the first things we want to do is go and look at, we're going to go to, I would say, appearance themes. And one of the themes I highly recommend is it's an Elementor theme. It's called Hello Elementor. So we're going to go and install that. Elementor is a page builder tool, and they also have their own theme as well. So I like to use the page builder and the theme because they're going to work well together. And the good thing about Elementor is it's like a visual designer where you can see what you're designing and click and drag. It's very easy. So after going to appearance themes and then adding that hello theme, next thing you want to do is go to plugins, and we're going to add new plugin. Now, you guys don't have to do this in real time. You can watch the replay. I'm going to install this first plugin that shows here. It's called Classic Editor, and that just changes the design of the page. You don't have to worry about exactly what it does. And now that we've installed the theme, it's suggesting that we install the Elementor plugin. So we're going to do that as well. Now, the plugins, if you don't know what they are little extensions that you add to your website. And so you might be able to find a gallery plugin or a chat plugin or a plugin that basically does anything. Can we mute the microphone until we're talking? And so I'm going to activate this Elementor plugin. Now, I'm not going to connect it to my account. I actually have a paid Elementor, but you don't need it. It's the free version does everything you need. So let's install that. Now, when we go to the front end, we'll see how it looks. It might look slightly different, but not heaps different. So what we're looking at now, it looks like nothing. It's like basically nothing there, right? Now we're going to go into the settings, and we will check general settings. So we're going to do a few setup things, like checking the name of the website. So because we're doing this Kierren's website, we're going to go here and call this Paradise DJs. And just going to quickly come back and make sure that everything's still working. So we've got the site name in there. We don't want to touch this address stuff. This is something more advanced. And you can check, some of these kind of geo settings. Another thing I want to do is go down to permalinks. Now, this is the structure of your permalinks, and just make sure that this is on post name, which is great because we always want the keywords for every page we create. We want them all in lowercase, and we're going to use a hyphen to put a space between words. And that's how Google will pick up the keywords. So that's all good. And I think that's about it, right? So that's the basic setup. If there's anything else we need, we'll come back to it. So what we're going to do next is we're going to create a page, which we're going to call the home page. So I'm going to add a new page now. So we've set the home page and we're setting the blog page. And we have to do that because the blog page is a dynamic page. It's not a static page. Dynamic means it has variable information. So when you go to the blog, you'll see a page which has like a preview of 10 of your blogs. So it's like a special page, and the homepage is also another special type of page, and that's why we have to assign it here. So we'll save that. Now when we go to the homepage of the website, I'm going to right click and open in a new tab. It's going to take us to the homepage, which will now be that page that I've set here. So I'm going to edit that page from the pages here. Go to the pages. First, I'm going to click edit, and then we're going to click edit in Elementor. And this is going to convert this page into an Elementor page builder page where we can start to really design the page. So we'll skip that. One of the first things we want to do is we want to move the page header. So I don't want to see the word home there. We're going to go and I think one of these up here, page settings. And then we want to hide the title of the page. Now, the way Elementor works is there's literally, these elements that you can add. So if we click the plus in the top left corner, we can see all the things that we can use to build a page. Now, this container and this grid, these are the structure of the pages that you can use, depending how you want the responsiveness of the page. Then we've got tools like adding, a title, an image, a video, a gallery, whatever it is. You can actually go to the plugins search tool within WordPress and find more Elementor plugins that are not made by Elementor, but that add extra elements like more galleries and tools, stuff like that. So you can have a bit of fun exploring through the plugins and finding additional tools. So we're going to try and recreate this page. But first I want to set up maybe the height, and I'm going to show you how we can add a video. So I've added this section here from clicking plus. We're going to set the height over here. Now we're going to say you can actually adjust the minimum height. And I think sometimes there's a way to make it full height. To achieve full height, use 100 VH. So there is a way to actually just make it the height of the screen. Okay, that's that. The Paradise DJs up here, I would say that might be part of the header section, and that's something we're going to do separately after we set up the page a little bit. Now, Kierren has this site set up as a one-page website, which is really nice too. For SEO reasons, it is better to have separated pages, but we can come back to that idea. For now, I'm just going to go to YouTube and find any video so that we can show you, or at least get something in there until we've got the original video we want. I'll try and find a video of a DJ playing on the beach or something. Now I've got that video from YouTube. Now I'm going to click this element here. If we go to style, and we're going to click background, and you can actually choose video here. So to give you a bit of an explanation what this is on the left here, when you click any element, you'll get all the things that you can edit that element with over to the left. And then you've got different categories of things like the layout stuff, design stuff, and then some advanced settings. So for now, I'm just using this random YouTube video, but you'll see once I've added that, it comes up very quickly and easily. And the good thing about using a YouTube video is, or uploading your video to YouTube, is that YouTube will host it, so it'll run quickly. But now we can continue to add elements. So if I want to go and add a text box, I can put some text over there and say, advanced DJs. And if you can hear me, Kierren, let me know if you can get access to that video on the homepage of your website. I want to find a nice blocky font until find out. Do you know what font that is? Might check. It was away. Poppins. That's actually a very good font. So let's go and find that one. We'll make it bold. Doesn't look like Poppins, to be honest. But now I want to find the color. Here we go. Make that white for now. So back to this design. This will actually be part of the header. As I was saying, for now, we might put this event DJ hire thing. So let's get that. I need to put a line here with this little text thing. I'm going to put a little HTML code. It's going to push that onto a new line. So I'm going to put those arrows, BR, and then close that. And you'll see pushes it onto a new line, how we want that. We might make the text back to just like a bold font. And we're going to make it bigger at 120. Maybe less. About 100. And to get the font in the text in the middle, we're going to go back to the container that it's in and go to layout. And then here's where you can play with the way that things inside the box are positioned. And that's what's really good. It's very easy to play with what I was saying about the responsiveness. You don't have to get this thing and say, move it down 200 pixels. You just go to the element that it's in and you can, get it to sit where you want it. And it's very easy to get it like that. Now I wonder, okay. Now we might make variations to this website, but initially we're just going to copy it just to get something onto the WordPress. So we're going to add another text element. I thought this was going to be when I click this, it expands something. We can do that if we want, but I think maybe we'll just use the text element for now. Does anyone have any questions at the moment?
None for me.
If you do, just make sure your microphone. Okay, good. I'm not sure why there's such a big space here. We'll have to go and check out the way this is laid out. It's really weird, actually. Space around. Okay. Sometimes you just need to play with this stuff a little bit. Maybe if now I want to add some space, you can use a thing here, which is an actual spacer. That might be easier for many people. And you can also actually click an element and then go to the advanced section and add what's called margin or padding. They're both kind of similar. The padding is the space inside something and the margin is the outer space. But we're just going to add some padding there, and you'll see that it's already starting to look, in structurally like what we got over here. So let's publish that. And now when we go to the front end, we're going to see what we had before, and then we're going to see what we have now after I refresh the screen. Cool. So it's starting to look the part. Looking good. Just going to come back, double check. The meeting is still going on. Is everyone here? Yep.
Still here.
So, yep, beautiful. No, just checking. Now, one of the next thing, what are we going to do next? We can either work on, I think, maybe the social icons. Let's give them a try. It could be a little bit tricky. We're going to do it. So let's type in social. Looks like Elementor has something that we can use. We're going to drag it down the bottom for now, and it's probably going to whack it into a random spot. I want to style it up a bit like that. I like the way that it's got the icons like that. So we're going to go to the style. We can change from the official colors and say, no, I want to choose my own colors, and I'm going to white icons. We're going to change the shape somewhere. Now, shape, let me see. Rounded, change it to circle. In fact, I don't want circles. We want to copy how the other one is. So I think what I'm going to do is make this white, and there we go. So I made the outer section clear and the icon white, and now it looks more like them. The next thing we need to do is work out how we can get it on the sides. I think we might be able to look at some of this positioning stuff. You can actually, as well as adjusting the positioning of the whole container through these settings here, you can actually go to the individual element and try and move it around that way. So we're going to try and push it like that. That's looking good. Let me see. So you'll just play around with the settings, in terms of actually the actual links. You can go and put that stuff here in the content section for the Facebook and the Twitter, and you can add additional ones and even additional logos. Now, where did that thing disappear to? So if you get stuck in this situation, I'm like, where did those icons just disappear to? There's a couple of things you can do. First of all, you can actually go, and there's an undo button somewhere. Find it. The other thing is you can right click and go to this thing here called structure, and it's going to show us everything on the page, kind of like if you've ever used Photoshop, you'll see different layers. So I can now find these social icons and work out where they've just disappeared to. I'm completely baffled. Let me, here we go. It was something. Yeah, so it might be tricky. I'll come back to it because I don't want to spend too much time on that one thing, but we can, if we, in terms of bringing the position up, we can actually use the margin. You can do something like, say, I want to do 400 pixels and then make that a minus. And you'll see now I've pulled it up to there and it's in the middle. So you can do that. The only last trick I need to work out is how to make it in line with itself, but I can't figure it out right now. So I'm going to publish that, come back to the front end, and then refresh it and see how it looks. And I think the next thing we'll do is we're going to go on to making the menu. So in Elementor, there is a way to create these, they call them templates. All right, so I'm going to go here and click Add New Template. Now I've got a thing actually with to create the menu header the way I'm thinking. You actually can't do that with the free version of Elementor, but there's a plugin that we're going to go and install. So that's the cool thing about plugins. So we're going to go to add new plugin, and I'm looking for a plugin called Header Elementor, I think. Elementor. And what it's going to allow us to do is create the menu template, which is a global thing. So this is the search, basically, from the WordPress plugins. This access to a whole database of free plugins. But they all have paid elements, or not all of them do, but a lot of them do. They have to become part of this directory, they have to offer a free plugin. And so that's what's really cool. Ultimate add-ons for Elementor, formerly header footer builder. I think this is what we want. So we're going to install this one. Great. Now, UAE header footer builder. Add new. We'll call this header, or we'll actually just call this main menu. Just one second. Okay. So, template, header, display, entire website, and that's that. You can actually make it show depending on the user's role, if they're logged in or logged out and that sort of thing, so you can get advanced with that. We're going to go now to the Elementor editor, and we're going to come back and have a look at the original thing here. So we've got some text on the left, and then we've got some menu options on the right. So we essentially want to split this top section into two parts. So I'm going to add this element, and we might try just the first one for now. First option. And we're going to start with adding some text. Paradise DJs. Yeah. Now we're going to go and set that to Poppins. Now, before we go on, I'm going to show you something. We're going to get sidetracked for one quick second. I don't want to keep, I like the font for Poppins. We're going to use it because that's what he's got already, and it's a good one for titles. So I don't want to keep changing it here because the correct way to do it is to do it from the global settings. So before I go on, I will just save what I've got here with the header. And then from over here, there is a thing called site settings. And this is where the correct way we should do things is by going to the global fonts and I think over to typography. Here is where we want to set what the global fonts are. So let's start with the H1 titles. And I'm going to put Poppins in for each one.
So this global, this is like setting the default, is it?
Yeah. These are the global design settings and font settings. So I would just want to set it early on so that you don't have all these different elements on all different pages where you've individually adjusted the fonts. And the benefit of doing it the correct way is that later on, if you change your mind, you can come back to the global and change it globally really easily. Whereas if you go and individually set the fonts on everything, then
okay.
Later on you'll have to come back and individually change.
Does
everything.
that just do it in this, like
You know
the CSS in the background, like in that main?
Yeah.
I think
It's a
style.
global thing.
Script? Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Pretty much. Yeah, Elementor is very user friendly, so people don't have to deal with that kind of technical stuff. But yeah. Now this should work. I'm going to double check it. Save changes. And then I'm going to exit this and come back to our main menu. Now with this little header, I'm going to set a minimum height. Approximately what we think it is around here. So maybe it looks like about 100 pixels or something. 120 is fine. let's adjust the layout settings. So I want to try and get this text in the middle. Yeah, like that. The other thing we need from the elements is we're going to add a menu. So we want to type in nav and I normally like this one. I think it must be part of the paid Elementor. We'll use this one. But as I said, if there's more things that you want, if you're not happy with what Elementor provides, there is like so many plugins that add additional things for Elementor. Now, here's the thing. I've now added a menu, but it's asking me what menu should we be using because you can create multiple menus. So the last menu, let's go back a step. We're going to go to the login back in the dashboard area. And now we're going to actually go to creating an actual menu or creating the first menu. So we're going to go to appearance and then menus. And we're going to create the first one, which is going to call it main menu. You know, because you can have like a footer menu and a sidebar menu. In fact, it wants us to say here what it's supposed to be. Once we create the menu, we're going to add the pages on the left here. So at the moment, we've only got the home page and the blog and the sample. We'll just add them all in there and save it. Now I think I'm going to have to come back here and refresh the page to reload that menu. And so let's do that. Okay, so here's our menu. It's ugly at the moment. That's fine. We might just start by making the font. Well, we'll make it black for now, but it's going to have to be white when we're finished because it's going to be going on top of this video. So we'll work that out shortly. First thing I want to do is try and play with the responsiveness settings down here to try and get it looking how it does, you know, on this website, the original. We'll try maybe aligning this to the right or something like that. Might have to do it from these settings. And you can do different menu styles. But for the sake of this training, and I want to try and get it how it is. So layout. Okay, there is a layout thing. I almost missed it. That is part of the menu that I dragged in. So I'm going to put that on the right if it's that simple. Maybe on the left. No, still not working with us. Space evenly. Okay. There you go. And this is why I love Elementor. See, they've got all that covered without you having to try and get more technical to try and get that layout how you want it. And so now we've got the title over there and the menu on the right, and that's so far that's what we want. So I'm going to come back and let's just try and work on these buttons a little bit and try and get this menu looking more like this. Doesn't have to be exact, but something similar. So we're going to go to style and let's change the background color first, just so we can see what we're working with. Because this is going to be, well, could be clear, but then we have the active menu. Like, let's say that's the home page. That might be like white with white background with black font for an active. Horizontal padding. So we're adjusting the padding. Now, I think the font, I think it is actually Poppins, by the way, just double checking, but yeah, from the settings from before. I want to find out how to put a border on it, so let's go and have a look. Background color, text color. sometimes you might be limited with the design choices, depending on what the element is, so this is where, if you're not happy with what it does, you can go and find other plugin that does exactly what you want. In this case, I wanted to try and find out how to put a white border around here, but it looks like there's no option here to do a border color. So that's all right. What we'll do is I think I'm going to make it clear background, unless it's active. And if it's active, then it's going to be a white background. So let's see if that works. We'll go and have a look at the front end. I actually think it's not going to be overlapping, but we'll fix that in a minute. So we've got it up here. So the problem is that the menu is separate from the actual website. So I'm going to try a trick, which I hope works. We're going to go to advanced and we're going to go to the margin at the bottom and try and, well, it could be done from the menu. Let's try it. We're going to try a minus 100. So I put a 100, then a minus, kind of pulls it up. Let's go and have a look. This might not be the right way to do what I'm thinking, but it might work anyway. So yeah, you see how it's pulled the image up, but it's left the text where we want it. So I think we want it looks like about 20 pixels. So let's make it 120. Well, that actually makes sense because I think I set the height to 120 of that header. So that would make perfect sense. Great. Let's go and look at that in another browser. So I'm using Microsoft Edge. I'm going to go over to Chrome so that I can see how it looks like if I'm not logged in. Great. And now let's go and pick on, now that we've got this global menu, now no matter what page you go on, this should be here. Yeah, see, it's going to be there. This page, we need to hide the title. That's why it's got archives underneath it. But that's what we've done by creating that header menu thing here, by installing that plugin, header, footer, Elementor thing. It's allowed us to create a global design section, which is the header. So we'll take it back to the home page. Let's get this font now and make it white. Oh. And we might also make it, let's say, semi-bold. Let's see if we can get everything sitting in the middle of the section better. Here. There you go. That's why I love Elementor. It's really good. You can do just about anything. And that's what I'm trying to also demonstrate as well today with this webinar, not just the speed that we can build a website, but also that I can literally just look at this website and copy it. And within, no time, I don't need a theme. The Hello theme that we're using by Elementor, you'll see it didn't have any fancy design. We're building this design from scratch. You can just go and find any website and copy the layout of the page. Not saying to copy people's websites, but get ideas to piece it all together. So we'll publish that. Come back here and refresh. Boom. I actually kind of like the social icons over there. It's good. It could work. Let's fix this down here. That font does not look like the Poppins. So let's go back to the home page. So we're kind of multitasking now, got a few tabs open at the same time. That's usually what I tend to do. This doesn't look so. Okay, what's going on here is I've updated the header fonts to Poppins, but not the body font. So the body font, I don't know what that is right now. So let's go and check that again. We're going to go to the site settings and typography, body. And then we can choose a font. Like a good basic font is something like maybe Open Sans. It's kind of clean. Or, Roboto can be a good one. Or I kind of like DM Sans a little bit. Yeah, that looks cool. Let's play with the thickness. Great. So this is actually, that's probably a bit too thick because this is meant to be the body font throughout the whole website. So I might just put it to normal and we'll save that. Before I go on, I'm going to check this first one. Now that I was going to say that that should be linked to this. If I change this, it should change it there. No? Okay, maybe that's not set as a H1. So we'll come back to it. Okay, I'm going to save that. I'm going to exit the site settings again. Throughout, when you're building, I like to come back to the site settings and adjust things like saving global colors and that, so that it's fast to come back and pull that stuff up. Someone's microphone's a bit nasty. Try and mute it or click down. I'm going to refresh this page that we've been working on here because now we've built the new header. It's going to load this page in the editor with the new header that we've kind of built. I'm going to click this again, and this was actually, it looks like it's a H2 header. So I forgot that. I'm going to set that to H1 because it's the home page, and so it's a big title on the home page, so it makes sense to make that H1. So I'm going to click that H1, and just for the sake of showing you how it should work in terms of global settings, we're going to go back one more time really quickly, and then edit the H1, and it should change it. All right, no, it's not changing it. So this means maybe that it's not using default, but check it. See, this is because I set it here. It wouldn't. That's why it wouldn't be affected by the global. So I want to put that back to default. Save it again, and then come back. So it's probably good that you see those kind of little problems that occur because you'll get stuck on those things.